This video is brought to you by Aniba. Stay tuned until the end of the video where you can learn about a website that will enhance your gaming experience. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly forgot this movie was coming out. These remakes are slowly but surely becoming white noise to me. They have their trailers drop, I watch the trailer, and before you know it, I move on to bigger and brighter things. A part of me even considered just skipping this movie since it just seemed inevitable that this movie was gonna make a ton of money. Like, I know I said that about Snow White, which ended up not doing too well, but let's not kid ourselves here. Lilo and Stitch is going to make money. It's one of Disney's most beloved franchises, and it's considered one of Disney's all-time greatest. So of course a cheap-looking bastardization of the original will make tons of money, because we cannot help ourselves as a species. It's just like Pleakley said in the original.
These are extremely simple creatures, miss.
But then I remembered I have a job to do. So I went and saw the movie, expected another mid piece of whatever that doesn't put much effort into it, so why should I even get angry? But that's not what I got. No. I got one of the worst remakes I've seen so far. Lilo & Stitch 2025 is next level bad. It sucks. It is one of the most incompetent, badly paced, badly written, badly acted, badly cast movies that I have seen in quite some time. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh Razor, now you're just exaggerating. It can't be that bad. It has a whopping 71% on Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes can suck a dick. I don't even know where to begin with how awful this movie was. I mean, there's just nothing of worth here. I'm having more trouble thinking of things I actually liked in this movie, compared to how many things that just pissed me off to such an insane degree. I guess the kid who played Lilo was good. I mean, she does have some bad line reads here and there, but I give her a pass on that since she's actually like 6. Especially given how everyone else is acting in this movie. The acting is surprisingly bad in this movie, especially from Nani. This woman is just not her. She's either overacting or underacting in every scene that she's in. There is no middle ground. There was that scene after the social worker comes in where she and Lilo are fighting, and along with there being jokes and silly music over top what was supposed to be a very serious and uncomfortable moment, is made even worse by her really awkward delivery.
Why didn't you wait at the school? You were supposed to wait there! Lilo! Do you not understand? Do you want to be taken away? Answer me!
She doesn't even sound angry, she just sounds tired, which I'm sure some people would defend, but we're forgetting that this is Nani we're talking about. Nani was one of the most emotionally mature characters in all of Disney history. Yeah, she got angry and frustrated, which was very understandable given her position, but there was a line in this movie that just really rubbed me off the wrong way that came from Nani. And yes, I am spoiling this movie. It's over 20 years old, so who cares? It was in that moment when they brought Stitch home, and during that moment, Nani wanted to take Stitch back because he was being too destructive, and Lilo brought up the famous Ohana means family line. But Nani replies to Lilo, "They left us behind," referring to her dead parents.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm sorry, but that is such an out-of-character thing for her to say. They left us behind? What are you, 6? Lilo, an actual 6-year-old child, understood that what happened to them was an accident. She understood that they had no choice in the matter. What's your excuse? Nani believes in the Ohana line more than anyone. So hearing her say that, hearing her blame her parents for dying when she was always careful about how she spoke around Lilo, is just so bastardizing. Yeah, it's only one line, but it's kind of like that one line from Shrek 4 where Shrek wished life was back to the way it was before he met Fiona. What a weird, uncharacteristic thing for her to say. And it just made watching her for the rest of the movie even more intolerable. Look, I'm cool with them trying to give her more backstory and agency, and even trying to play more into that surfer angle the original hinted at, but it just doesn't fit here. Giving Nani more independence and agency robs from her relationship with Lilo, who she sacrificed all of that to provide for. That was what made Nani such a great character, just how hard she worked to keep her sister. here. But this movie oddly doesn't really take the whole child protective service thing that seriously. I mean, sure, it kind of does, but not as much as it was in the original. In the original movie, Nani was alone. She had no support and had to carry on all by herself while carrying Lilo in the process. The most she had was David, but even then, Nani was always pushing him away because she felt like she couldn't give him the time he deserved. She liked his butt and thought his hair was fancy, but also believed he deserved a fair chance with her, without all the crap that she had to deal with at the time. Now, granted, that's what made David so awesome. He was willing to help her anyway, but you guys get my point, right? But in this movie, she does have a support system. She has David, who is there, just in far less abundance. She also has this woman named Tutu, who's played by Amy Hill, who played Mrs. Hasagawa in the original, who's also David's grandmother in this version, which I won't lie, I actually do like that change. Having David be a mama's boy is actually pretty good, but I'm getting off topic. Having these people have Nani's back reduces the stakes of the situation. In the original, you could really feel Nani's desperation to protect her sister and keep their Ohana together. But here, these montages just boil down to Lilo and Stitch goofing off while she realizes that maybe she'd like to go to college or something. What? It just feels like the writers not only misunderstood Nani's character, but the weight of her struggle to not lose the last piece of her family. In the movie, instead of the Grand Councilwoman saying that Stitch's family is under galactic protection and can never be divided, instead, let's just have David's grandmother adopt Lilo instead. Yeah, isn't that just so much better? Isn't it so great that Lilo and Nani always have this mattress that they can just fall back on? What a cheap trick that just robs their dynamic and struggle from any of its nuance or stakes. And all of that is completely ignoring the fact that the actress isn't even a native Hawaiian. She's half Filipino, half Caucasian. Was it really so hard to find an actual native to play as Nani? It's kind of important to the story for her to be the correct race, Disney. This isn't like Ariel, who's a fictional character, so it doesn't really matter what her skin color is at the end of the day. No, this is actually paramount to the story. What the fuck? Look, I'm sorry, I know I'm focusing on this quite a lot, but man, Nani has got to be one of the worst bastardizations that I have ever seen in these remakes so far. She sucks! And it's even worse with this social worker, who is in Cobra Bubbles, by the way, who is played by the original actor who played Nani. And there are these moments with the social worker when she speaks, she actually has dialogue that sounds more in line with Nani. And I can't help but feel like that was intentional. Like the movie was so proud to have Tia Carey come back for Lilo and Stitch after all these years. Look, I'm fine with Tia Carey being in the movie and all that, I love her, but what was even the point of her taking Cobra's place when Cobra is still in the movie? In this version, he's just fully committed to being a secret agent, but now he's tracking down Stitch because he knows Stitch is an alien, because he made the news apparently. Yeah, that's another weird thing with this movie. It oddly takes the alien stuff more seriously this time around. Everyone is fooled that Stitch is a quote-unquote dog, but Jumba and Pleakley can't wear disguises. What, we can't have our cross-dressing gay uncles, Disney? No, just gotta lazily give them human disguises because that's just so much more fun. The original was very lighthearted when it came to the aliens. Jumba and Pleakley could just walk around and drag and everyone was duped. Oh, but in this movie, aliens make the news. The FBI is in full swing here and is launching a full investigation, even though in the original, they already met aliens. And even Cobra himself had met the Grand Councilwoman at one point. Oh, but not in this movie, apparently. What a dumb, meaningless change that only serves to make the Grand Councilwoman's decision to let Stitch remain on Earth feel even more forced and unnatural. Not to mention, she doesn't even order Lilo's family to be kept together. It's so stupid. And Jesus Christ, don't even get me started on the villain of the movie. So, Pleakley is actually okay in this movie. He's probably the one character who's the most like his original counterpart. Billy Magnuson was actually pretty good casting, I won't lie. I low-key feel so bad for this Instagram post he made. Like, he wanted to be gay Pleakley so bad, but Disney wouldn't let him. But as for Jumba, oh my god, is Jumba just so terrible in this movie. And I'm not even kidding when I say Zach Galifianakis might just be the single worst bit of casting I have ever seen in these remakes. No fun Russian accent, no real personality put into the performance, and also he's the villain of the movie now. Yep. Instead of Gantu being the villain because, oh, it's too expensive to have Gantu, but we can make a whole movie of CGI lions that nobody asked for. Granted, we didn't ask for this either, but still. Instead, Jumba is just a full-blown villain in this version. Nobody took the whole evil scientist thing seriously except for him in the original, but he still had a heart, you know? He actually cared a lot about Stitch, which is why when Stitch asked him to help save Lilo from Gantu, he does. Sure, it was just a joke, but it was still pretty believable. Here, though, his main motivation now is to take Stitch and reprogram him to become 627. Yes, they actually reference the TV series in this movie because, well, if more experiments work to make more sequels in the past, that means we can make more sequels of this shit in the future! I knew it! I knew they were gonna do this! I saw this coming in the Mufasa video. They are actually going to make live-action remakes of the direct-to-video sequels. Jesus H. Christ! Sorry, but Jumba is just not a fun villain. He worked well for what he was in the original. Just a funny obstacle that kept getting outwitted before a real threat showed up, cleaned house instantly, was remorseless in his pursuit, even when it meant Lilo was at risk. Jumbo was perfect in the role he was given. So having him just suddenly be the real bad guy in the last 20 so minutes is just odd. And I know it's weird to complain about the changes. I know. You want these remakes to change things, but you also complain about the changes. Then you complain when they don't make changes. Sounds like you're just never happy.
I'm never happy.
Look, changes in a remake are inherently a good thing. I do want these remakes to change things if they're going to exist at all, but that doesn't mean the changes are going to be good themselves. Every change this movie made actively makes the story and the characters worse. Like Lilo, for example. Look, I know I said the actress is doing a fine enough job, but even then, this is just not Lilo. Not because the actress doesn't look like Lilo or anything, but because now she's just every generic kid character you can possibly come up with. All those fun little quirks that made Lilo stand out are gone. Her love of Elvis, her taking photos of fat people, her antisocial tendencies, all of it gone, just replaced with a generic kid who's a bit of a troublemaker, but nothing too special. And that brings me to talk about Stitch, who's really just a dog now in this version. All of those emotional scenes of Stitch coping with the fact that he can't destroy and learning about what family means is gone too. There's no scene with the ugly duckling, there's no scene where Stitch learns about what happened to Lilo's parents. Hell, when he leaves the family after feeling like he screwed everything up, he doesn't even say goodbye to them. Lilo and Nani are having their Aloha Oi scene, and Stitch doesn't even witness it. He's just gone. You never get a feel for his and Lilo's relationship because they hardly ever sit down to establish one. The movie believes that random montages of them hanging out and causing trouble counts as character bonding, but it's just lazy and repetitive. There's no heart-to-heart between these two, so their dynamic just feels so empty and forced. Stitch really just feels more like a pet in this version, rather than the main character. Sure, there's a couple of funny moments with him, but that's just the Stitch we all know and love anyway. It's not enough to save him or anything in this movie, really. Oh, speaking of Stitch, can we talk about how this movie would just lazily reuse audio from the original movie? Yeah, I'm dead serious. They did that. When Stitch said that slur in front of everybody, yeah, that was just the audio from the original movie. Same with the ending scene where Stitch said, "This is my family." It's the same audio! What, was Chris just sick that day? You brought back the original voice of Stitch, yet you just reused audio from the original? How cheap can you be? Speaking of cheap, this movie looks awful. The colors are all desaturated. The CGI looks terrible on most of the aliens. It's shot and edited weirdly. This is just not a good looking movie at all. Is it even fair to compare it to the original movie's beautiful watercolors? It's not, right? Oh, and the jokes too. Oh man, like I know I said there were some funny moments here and there, but there's also a lot of burping and farting and oh, did I forget to mention there's a goat scream? Of fucking course! There's a goddamn goat scream! The guy who heard that goat scream back in 2009 and won't admit the damn thing wasn't funny at any time. Honestly, I could keep going on and on about Lilo and Stitch 2025. There is just so much wrong with it that I actually think I'm gonna have to come back to it later for a longer, more in-depth video. I know I'm gonna sound harsh, but this is one of the worst remakes that Disney has made so far. It is awful. It's badly acted, it's ugly and cheap looking, poorly written, poorly edited, and every change to the source material exists solely to make the movie worse in every regard. Not a single improvement was made to the original, which I know shouldn't sound like a surprise in that regard, but it's more just how much they ruined that completely kills this movie for me. It's downright abysmal. Easily the worst movie I've seen this year so far. Yeah, it is worse than both Mufasa and Snow White. Thanks for asking. Now, no, it's not the absolute worst. I still think Mulan 2020 and Pinocchio are just inherently worse movies, but this one is down there in the bottom row somewhere. I am genuinely surprised by how awful it was. I really thought this was just going to be another mid-remake that I could go on and ignore for the rest of my life. But no. This movie deserves a thorough thrashing that will never be forgotten. Because with what they did with Nani's casting, to removing key characters, to the piss poor casting and acting, there's just a lot to unpackage here that needs more time dedicated to it. So let's save that PB&J for another rainy day, shall we? Lord knows the movie forgot to.
Oh, no.
For now, all I can say is, if you're a fan of the original, and you're like a pro fighter or something, and you need to get angry to win a match, then go watch this movie. It'll give you the boost you need. Basically, watch this movie if you wish to be angry at all living things, especially goats. Now I want all goats wiped off of the planet. But I guess I'll settle for playing some video games. Oh, but what's a good website where I can get some good prices on video games on all platforms? Oh wait, I know the one! Aniba! Aniba is the ultimate website made for gaming and streaming services. For any gamer who wishes to take their gaming experience to the next level, Aniba has over 40,000 options to help make that a reality. From games such as Fortnite to Call of Duty to Elden Ring and more, Aniba is on its way to becoming the #1 website for gamers everywhere to find a cheap, sustainable home for all their gaming needs. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. They also provide streaming services such as Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, Spotify, and others that can enhance your everyday lives as well. You can't clutch a match in a quiet room, put some Sabaton in the background and become a real war hero. But if none of this is to your liking, then don't worry. There is a 24/7 support system that can help you with any issue you face on the website. So, be sure to check out my link in the description below to get a head start on enhancing your gaming lifestyle now. And special thanks to Aniba for sponsoring this video. Anyway, I can't wait for the sequel where we can see ugly CGI Hamsterbeal and have him be voiced by Chris Pratt. Oh god, no, Disney, don't do that! Whatever you do, don't do that! No!
I can't wait to leave this town, 'cause lately I've been feeling down. The cold nights just don't feel the same.